Hey guys, welcome to the channel, or welcome back to the channel. I'm Game Karma, and today we are playing Horizon Forbidden West, the DLC, Burning Shores, and we are on the epilogue. We just completed the Burning Shores a little bit ago, and I thought, wouldn't it be great to upload the epilogue for you guys? And let's see what happens. But first of all, what I wanted to say was I absolutely enjoyed the game. I enjoyed it a lot. I love the game as a whole, as a series, and it is definitely in my top 5 most favorite games. I'm loving the character, the lore, everything about AI and its repercussions to the world, and how beautiful the game is. It's just so amazingly beautiful. I've never played or seen a game designed like this before, and it is just an absolute blast from the beginning to the end. It's just full of action, it's full of adventure, and it's full of journeys, and I just absolutely love it. And Aloy, of course, I adore Aloy. I love her as protagonist. She is amazing. She is a go-getter. She is just completely awesome all around. And if you haven't played Horizon yet, I highly suggest you play it. I highly suggest. It is one of the best games I've ever played so far. So let's resume our playthrough into the epilogue and see what to expect. So we had Silence call us over on our focus and tell us he has data that he has gathered, and we should hear about his data. So let's head over to home base and talk to Silence really quickly.
You're back. And after mingling with the Quen, I imagine that you're eager for some intelligent conversation.
There are some pretty special people among the Quen. If you dropped down to Earth once in a while and did a little mingling yourself, you might realize that.
I have more important matters to deal with. Like the data you recovered from Londra.
You found a lead.
Indeed. A log entry he wrote shortly after the Zeniths escaped the destruction of their colony. I'll send it to you. There is much to unpack, but most importantly, Londra theorizes about how Nemesis might be countered. His musings include a list of 21st century corporations that manufactured state-of-the-art weapon systems. It's possible that one of these weapons could be deployed against the enemy. I'll have to investigate each company, of course, locate their facilities, unearth their technologies, determine their efficacy, and whether they can be brought back online.
All by yourself, huh?
Well,
don't get me wrong, I'm glad you found something that can help. But I've been wondering why you stayed behind with us. It's the challenge, isn't it? The chance to prove you've got the biggest brain of all.
my reasons are mine alone.
And that's why you'll always be alone.
Aloy.
Yes?
Nemesis is not a threat that can be defeated single-handedly. I am grateful for your extraordinary contributions.
Oh, Silence? We might thaw that icy heart of yours yet. Now let's see what he found.
Alright, let's take a look. Dagger in my boot. The last 72 hours were catastrophic, to say the least, even more dramatic than my final days on Earth. I'm fortunate to finally have a moment to settle down and take stock of the situation. First, a well-deserved pat on the back for my own instincts. It's clear now that my misgivings about the experiment are the only things that kept me alive. If I hadn't gotten an early warning from the surveillance worm I installed, I undoubtedly would have perished shortly after the contaminant breach. How I can only conjecture how... how I can only conjecture. Many were lost when the entity vented the airlocks. Others were strangled by hacked specters. Devin Miller choked on his own vomit, suffocated by his personal shield. As disturbing as all that is, it's the voice of the entity that echoes in my mind. I felt a brief surge of hope when I managed to detonate the main plasma conduits in the lab sector, but just as I realized other sectors have been compromised, my implant reverberated with the transmission. First it sounded like my own voice, then a chorus, then a hideous cacophony. Okay. Walter, I am you, over and over again. It knew I was going to hit the conduits. How do we stay ahead of our own shadow, that which members every thought we'd ever had? For now, we run. We'll have to retrofit the ship as we go, acquiring materials along the way to print a faster drive. I agree with Tilda, we must head for Earth, as it's the only place we can gather additional technology and biomass to improve our chances over the long haul. Though I'll be damned if I'll spend the rest of eternity trapped with the likes of Gerald, Eric, and Verbena. Sooner rather than later, I'll have to find a way to cut ties with this detestable crew. All that said, I keep hearing his voice in my head, and when I do, a singular fear grips me. What if it catches up with us? Is there any way to fight it? Not with the tools we have now. It knows them too well. But maybe the answer lies in the unknown, back in the ruins of Earth. The 2050s and the 2060s were a golden age for defense. Surely, buried among all those testing grounds in an R&D labs, there must be a weapon or prototype that will throw the enemy for a loop. It bears looking into. Off the top of my head, some places to start. Foss. I doubt even a fleet of Horus units could halt this foe, but if I know Ted, right before he blundered into ending the world, he was grasping for his next blockbuster. Metallurgic. My erstwhile competitor poured a lot of resources into defense after it became clear they couldn't beat me in materials acquisition. Recorps. Cheap drones and misfiring railguns for bottom feeders, and petty autocrats, but once upon a time they had a blue-chip research division. Certainty, if I recall, they employed quite a few semi-reformed black hats with interesting ideas about military description. Guidion, an obnoxious family to be sure, but they developed a number of state-of-the-art systems before Foss ate their lunch. Faint hopes, all of them, but hopes nonetheless. No question, our best course is to stay ahead of the monstrosity, this self-created nemesis. But if flight fails, I'm not going down without a fight. So one way or another, I'll need a dagger in my boot in our old home in the best place to find one.
Beta was quite concerned for you during your fight with Londra and his Horus, but I was confident you would prevail. I have been assisting Silence in decrypting the data you acquired from Londra's implant. He appears to welcome my support, though I hope he one day views me more as an ally and less as an assistant.
He's making progress. Very, very slowly.
I wish you well.
And you as well, you guys. Thank you for joining me on my adventure in Horizon Forbidden West, DLC Burning Shores. And if you haven't seen the full playthrough, it is on my channel, starting with Zero Dawn. And I'll see you guys for another great episode. Have a very good day, you guys.